Good afternoon, respected judges, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today I will present Berani Jadi Dokter, an artificial intelligence-based support system created to open the doors of medical education for talented students in Indonesia disadvantaged frontiers and outermost region or TIAT. Next. This platform is not about digital technology. It is a bridge that turns hidden potential in 3T regions to real doctors who will serve their own communities in the future. Let us walk through the journey together, step by step, start by clear reality about what our students faces every day. Next. Students in 3T region faces 4 major problems that block their dreams to become a doctor: geographic barriers, economic limitation, stigma about medicine, and limited informations. All of these barriers causes unequal access to medical education. Let me bring this problem into a real story that thousands of villagers faces every day. There is a 17 years bright boy rushes into home from school, said, "Mom, I want to become a doctor." Her mom, exhausted from working in the fields, say, "No, sons, becoming a doctor is too expensive and takes too long. We can barely afford a rise this month. I hope you can finish school quickly and help us help the family." At that moment, the dreams to become doctor is already dies. This is the power of stigma. Medicine is only for rich city kids. They never see a doctor from their own village. His parents only see money and times. The end is heartbreaking. Hidden talents cannot be a doctor, even though he's motivated to become one. Next. This unequal access to medical education causes shortages of healthcare workers. There is only 0.47 physician per 1,000 population, far below World Health Organization recommendations that require 1 physician for 1,000 populations. This causes uneven distribution of healthcare workers, where the physician in rural area is 4 times lower in the urban area. In the end, all of this causes higher burden of healthcare workers and increasing of the burden of the disease. Next. The government already make a program to overcome those problems, such as Nusantara Sehat, Beasiswa Afirmasi Kemenkes, and KIP Kuliah. This program is provide scholarship for the peoples, but only focus on funding. There is no motivation session. There is no daily guidance that keep people to motivate. This causes all our is after finishing their service, they leave 3T regions and they have low retention to stay in 3T area after finishing mandatory internship. So why we target students from rural area? A study showed that they are 3 times have more tendency to stay more than 10 years serving in 3T regions. The good news is more than 75% of Indonesia have already access to internet. So the infrastructure is already exists. We just need to make a digital bridge to overcome those previously mentioned problems. This bridge is Berani. Next. This bridge are Berani Jadi Dokter. Here's in the screen, we can see Berani Jadi Dokter is an AI platform that consists of 5 main features. The first one is AI consultants. This is the features that continuously automated guidance on admission pathways on curriculum for every medical student in Indonesia. The second one is News Corner. News Corners is contain verified updates on funding, deadlines, and application guide for scholarship and also medical schools in Indonesia. And there is meet mentors that have that give students motivation to become a doctor. Like this can be from medical students and also can be from the doctors. The fourth one is scholarship info. This is detailed information on affirmative and other scholarships that a student can register into. And the last one is discussion room. This is a collaborative forum to share materials and prepare the test for medical schools. And also there is Q&A part in these features. So this is Berani Jadi Dokter, integrated solutions for students in 3 regions to have more information, detailed, reliable information to become a doctor. Next. So this is our core problems. How can digital technology be utilized to improve access to information, mentorship, and preparation resources for students, especially students in 3 regions who aspire to pursue medical education? The objective is to develop an artificial intelligence-based platform that provides accessible information, mentorship opportunities, and collaborative preparations. With this artificial intelligence, we plan to improve awareness, accessibility, and preparedness of students from disadvantaged regions in pursuing medical education. Next. To make this Berani Jadi Dokter, we have 3 main stages of development methods. The first one is platform development. This stage have targeted output such as barrier identification reports, like gap identifications. And the second one is platform architecture and prototype, train AI chatbot model, and testing and improvement report. So that's the platform development. So there is involved parties like researchers, students, technical developers, and also AI experts. The second one is mentorship integration. So after we develop the platform, we integrate it with mentorship with volunteer for medical student and clinical doctor. Targeted output from this stage is verified mentor network, mentorship guideline, session monitoring report, and feedback analysis. And the last one is pilot implementation and evaluation to get a pilot implementation report as the basis for future development in the future. Next. With Berani Jadi Dokter, we can improve access to educational information, encouraging participation of rural students in medical education, and supporting long-term healthcare equity. So, hidden potential in the 3 regions is can have more motivation to become a doctor without worrying about the money we need and also the every struggle like the times needed to become a doctor. All of this benefit can help us to make a more effective healthcare system. Next. Okay, this is the conclusions. Thank you. Yes, it is a real human mentors. So the first ones, the mentor is volunteer based. So like right now in my environment, there is some friends that become volunteer to help the students from their respective school to like get admitted into FK Unhas. About another funding, like the software funding, we have plan to make it as investment based. Or we also can have collaborations with governments like Dinas Pendidikan or maybe Dinas Kementerian Informasi to help us build this model. Because this not only overcome the student problem, it is overcome the systematic problem in healthcare system in Indonesia. So we do not just focus on the students. We intervene the problem in the students to overcome the uneven distribution of healthcare worker. So in the end, the conclusion is the mentor is volunteer based, but for the technicals, like the software, we plan it to make it investment based or make collaboration with Dinas Pendidikan or Dinas Informatika. Thanks. Okay. Uh, the target user of this software is the high school students in 3T regions who have motivations to become a doctor. Uh, it's it is specifically this is can use by everyone, but our targeted population is students in 3T regions. Thank you for the questions. So based on my personal experience, I came from uh, 3T regions in Southeast Sulawesi, in Kolaka, in mining area. So there is my fellow friends from high school that I want to become a doctor, but their parents say no, there is no, this is too expensive. But I prove with myself, like my dad is a farmer and somehow people around me is underestimate me, but Alhamdulillah, with all of the information I get from my high school, like I can do this. There is so much scholarship around us. We just don't have information. So I make this Berani Jadi Dokter with a feature scholarship info. In this scholarship info, there is a list of scholarships that open to everyone. So this software is not giving scholarship, but it give uh, information about what scholarship is open for us, what we can use to become a doctor, and then motivation. We can deny that become a doctor is need long-term education. It's takes a long time. So there is also meet mentor features that give us motivations to become a doctor one. So This not this berani jadi dokter is not giving us scholarship, but it give us information like, hey, there is a scholarship. Try to register into it, and you'll see you'll become doctor in the future. Okay. Thank you for the questions and the comments.
every day, thousands of mothers across the world, across especially on Indonesia, have suffered so many complications, especially on rural areas. But some are are handled not in a way that is quick, that in turn can affect the health of the mother and the baby. This happens nationwide, and without the proper treatment and without the proper health system to help um, help our society, this is why this project exists. There are a proverbs that say, "The future belongs to those who believe in their dreams," and I am here trying to achieve those dreams. My name is Christopher Abelard, as the third year medical student from Universitas Hasanuddin, and I will be sharing with you my creative ideas for improving the nation's health through the improvements of health system itself. The current status quo of Indonesia itself and the world in general about maternal health between 2003 and until 2023, the global maternal mortality rate, or MMR, fell by 40%, and it shows similar trends in Indonesia, from 450 to 290 maternal deaths per 1,000 live births between 1990 and 2020. But there are multiple key findings that I found from the journal. One, Indonesia's MMR has declined but remains high on rural areas. For example, from the 249, the SDG standards only once only have a high threshold of 70. This is way beyond the threshold given by the WHO. Two, major regional disparities exist. While some shows that our data shows that it already declines, but our but this is not the same in certain regions such as Sulawesi, in which that it shows limited infrastructure, geographic barriers, and weak referral system, cause the MMR is higher than the original data shows by the world government. And the third, leading causes and system gaps drives mortality, such as hemorrhage, hypertension disorder, and sepsis are leading direct cause of death, compounded by systemic delays in care that previously explained due to major regional disparities. Next slide, please. Why are current systems not enough? Due to setbacks from the previous slides that I've already mentioned, risk detection is not consistent, in which that this is exacerbated by the fact that our by the fact that our healthcare system did not adequate to handle all of the geographical challenges from having uh, having a health issue like this. Second, internet-dependent digital solutions. You will see so many solutions like telemedicine, but the truth is, in rural areas, some of them didn't have this type of privilege, in which in which causes in which causes, of course, still delayed intervention. And third, no clinical intelligence for primary care. All of this above causes to worsen. It worsens the already fragile Indonesian health system. So the solution that I'm proposing is having Maternova as offline first clinical decision support system that is designed to support healthcare professionals, particularly in primary care settings such as community health centers or puskesmas, or in small clinics and rural areas in Indonesia. Next slide, please. The concept is simple. Maternova here to help healthcare professional, I repeat, to help, not to replace the healthcare professionals to make decisions, but also empowers them with a secure, fast, and adaptive system without requiring expensive infrastructure and stable internet connections. Like I said before, Maternova filters patients based on risk level such as low, medium, and high using a simple algorithm with offline and an advanced online algorithm. Next slide. And with clinical decision reinforcements, this system can help all of the healthcare professionals spread across the region and across Indonesia to ensure that they can give a well-informed decision and, of course, can help alleviate the burden from the healthcare professionals in rural areas. Next, and to follow-up care. The system will suggest appropriate referral system to appropriate health facilities, accelerating the management of high-risk complications. So the system will will give you warnings if there are individuals with high risk, and they will refer it as soon as possible to prevent any further complications. Next slide. We will have dual model adaptive architecture. We'll have offline layer, of course, that can work offline, in which that it can work in every region possible, and we have an online layer for precision enhancements. Next slide. Why is it different? Um, in, because unlike other solutions, like this, like mentioned above, Maternova is offline, adaptive, and with primary focus care in mind. Next slide. The benefits of Maternova. The first is clinical impact. It focuses on early detection, reduced delay, and standardized decision for healthcare workers across Indonesia. Next slide. The second, to system impact. It helps to strengthening primary care and maternal risk surveillance. And next, the third one, in economic impact. It can potentially reduce complication cost and make an effective referral system that can integrate to the pre-existing system in Indonesia. Next slide. Development implementation, we will divide in three sections. The first, in development and validation. We will have it like in the first year by building solid technical foundation by collecting representative maternal data sets. Second, by piloting implementations. It will be implementing by the 12th to 24th months. Testing and system is in real world settings. Next slide. The next is scaling and integration, and integrating it to the already existing system in Indonesia. Here are the slides. Next slide. Here we have potential collaborations, of course, with stakeholders that can help benefit and implement and augment this system, of course, whether it's from GO and NGO. Next slide. Conclusion for your outlooks. Maternova is a simple concept. It's a scalable, offline-first maternal clinical intelligence systems. With right collaborations with GO and NGO, Maternova is both feasible and poised to transform maternal and neonatal care in Indonesia. Next slide. Here are some references. Next slide. Thank you for your attention. Yes. This system, wait, can I? This system primarily helps to focus on early detection of complications in mother, of course, but this can be also used as a follow-up to ensure that they can get the best treatment even though in rural areas. Sure. Yes. Yes. Oh, okay. This system is present to prevent any complications, because maybe I haven't explained it elaboratively, but the MMR can caused by many things. One of which is by complications that I already explained, like hemorrhage and so on and so forth. By having this system in place and essentially by removing those risk factors as the complication, if we can treat it earlier, we can prevent the MMR and um, many other side effects or the complications that can happen in the future. If you, yeah. Yes. Unrelated. Um, wait, maybe, oh, can I? Okay. Allow me to elaborate. This system is supposed to be used by not only for the patient but the healthcare workers. I would like to inform that this system is supposed to be CDSS, Clinical Decision Support System, that can help healthcare workers to monitor and to help them to identify individuals that have a high risk of complications in the future. That's from the perspective of the healthcare workers. But for the patient itself, this device can serve as a sort of a logbook, as a form to communicate between healthcare workers the the patient itself. So it can ensure a good transition, even though if the patient moves to a different hospital or a um, different place, of course, to get treatment, they can still have the same information and they can be treated the way they should be treated, individualized. If you, I think that's. Yes. Okay, that is a good question. Allow me to answer. Yes. Okay, allow me to answer. In a way, yes, that is true that this problem can be solved by already pre-existing solutions. But remember, um, it the ANC by can do so much, but when the quantity is involved, like for example, there are lots of people that need the same treatment, the health um, the the health cadres or the healthcare professionals, of course, cannot handle the same thing as quick as they have. For example, um, without without the technology, without the help of technology, they can handle 5 patients like in like matter of minutes. But imagine if like having lots of patients, lots of stuff to take care of, while having to do other due diligence as medical professionals. This is why this idea exists, not to replacing the already pre-existing system, but to ensure a more effective approach to healthcare. Thank you. Yes. Yes. To me personally, the nova in Matanova means um, it's it means supernova. It means start of a new change. That's why I picked the nova in Matanova, because originally planned to name this Mother Guard, but the Mother Guard, I think it is too heavily focused on mothers. But I think the system can do more than just focusing on the mother, but on the child itself. But I haven't got information about that, so sorry for the yes for the confusion. Yes. Yes. It's should allow me to answer. It's basically the same concept, but using less energy from the computer itself, because we have to factor in the fact that not everyone have high-end computers or devices to actually run this project. So to ensure everyone can have access, the offline layer serves as we will have like the a mild model that can work in all devices, of course, to ensure that they can use it even without connectivity, and making sure they can work with low to mid-end devices. And The difference is only in precision enhancement, in uh, in processing the data that is available, because online layer can do much more than just figuring out or flagging the risk factors. Of course, for example, this can have so many implications in the future. For example, if you want to add precision medicine into the mix, or having any future concepts in on the online layer itself. The key in here is the modularity of this system, in hopes that this can be upgraded to have us to, of course, sustain a more resilient health system in Indonesia.
Do you know that patient when suffered hepatocellular carcinoma is not just only affect him or herself, but it also affects widely. Next. This data shows on 2022 that new cases it's approximately 600,000, and also for the mortality also reach up the same data. So in this data we can conclude that people who are suffered hepatocellular carcinoma also have like a big changes to the mortality. Next. But the limitation, it's not only just that, but we face another challenges that the first line therapy that atezolizumab and bevacizumab doesn't effective or doesn't have any response to 60% of its patient. But there are a lot of challenges. One of it is when patient have like contraindications such as like a bleeding tumor itself or maybe like a rupture on the vessels, it's kind of contraindication for this first line therapy. Next. So for the this research, it gonna take this sorafenib. Sorafenib is another first line therapy on based on American Society of Clinical Oncology, but with this drug there is like still lack of study. It is like for the median survival is just only 3 until 5 months, and resistance frequently develops. So next. Because of this slackness, we need strategies that targeting the production of cancer-prone progenitor cells that can prevent relapse. Because 50% of patients hepatocellular carcinoma have a recurrence after initial treatment. So next, we need another therapy, like additional therapy. It's about sirna tree. What is sirna? Sirna is like a media that's gonna cut the mRNA, so the proliferation gonna inhibit. Like this, we can see that sirna tree in hepatocellular carcinoma is overexpressed. 70% until 100% is expressed in hepatocellular carcinoma, so it's really effective and really targeted. It's gonna inhibit tumor growth, stimulates anti-tumor immune response. But to make these two therapies into one places, we need a place. Next, that we call it as nanotheranostic. Nanotheranostic is a media that the size is nano and have two functions. First is theranostic and also diagnostic. Theranostic to be drug delivery system and also for monitoring progress and also the safetiness. Next. And with all that components, it concludes in this title, dual function database nanotheranostic strategy and aspian monitoring for delivery of anti-GPC3 sirna and sorafenib in HCC. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Radin Dewi Salma from Faculty of Medicine, Universitas Hasanuddin, gonna present this title to you. Next. Like what I said before, this dual function that I'm going to use in this research, that is sorafenib to attack the cancer that already available, and also GPC3 to inhibit tumor growth, and also to stimulate anti-tumor immune response to prevent the relapse. Next. And also about how about the nanotheranostic? So about nanotheranostic itself, I use the lipid nanoparticle because lipid nanoparticle has like tend to attach to the HEPAR, and also I use like some little bit modification that is like DOTAP, which is DOTAP is have like a positive charge, so it's gonna have like a strong interaction with negative sirna, because this in this therapy we use sirna, so sirna have a negative charge and also DOTAP have positive charge, so it's gonna have like strong interaction between it. But DOTAP still have weakness that the stabilization is not really that good. So we need DSPC as the stabilizer. So which is the monitoring? The monitoring is OASPIAN. We know that iron oxide nanoparticle is already FDA approved, but I choose OASPIAN as the modification because it's stable in lipid suspension and also slower clearance. So at our body, it's gonna be stay for a long time. Next. And this is the design of the nanotheranostic that I already made. Next. And how it gonna enter our body. So it gonna enter our body with intravena, and it's gonna monitored by the MRI. Next. And this is some collaboration that we can collab with like a governmental organization and non-governmental organization for this research. Next. even though this research is really therapeutic, but I'm pretty sure this is have like a big impact to the society. Like this is like really specific. The problem is it's not just only about the prevalence. It's also not about the mortality only, but it's also about the therapy. First therapy of hepatocellular carcinoma have like a big challenges on it. So that's really important for us to solve the problem, such as like limited access to the liver transplantation and surgery, and also like a high relapse rate, because even if with surgery, 70% of hepatocellular carcinoma patient still has relapse. And also measurable in two impacts like therapy effectiveness and also social impact. Therapy effectiveness like GCP3 expression that will be decreased, and also tumor volume. And this is social impact, that number of HCC patient that we hope that it will relapse reductions, and also acceptable because there are so many journal and also many literature that already approve it, and also this is as a solution of many problems. Next. And this is an analysis of realistic. We know that with hepatocellular carcinoma or HCC, we don't always need like liver transplantation, because we know that it's not always available for all that patients. So that's really urgency of this research, that we have to improve about the therapeutic. And this is the time bound that we need to make the non-deterministic in vitro testing, and also MRI monitoring. Next. And this is the analysis of the effect that also affected to public health and also socioeconomic, that maybe it's gonna be a lower long-term cost on HCC treatment for underprivileged communities, because we know that surgery is really expensive, and it's based on the data, it's not really effective, because 70% of HCC tumor patients, it has relapse. Even though after taking the surgery. And this is also about like we don't have much that liver transplantation for that all big portion of patients. Next. And this is the conclusion that I want to highlight in this research, is about targeting dual therapy for HCC and targeting nanoparticle approach. And also I made sure that this research is going to be impactful to the society. Next. Thank you. Okay, so how it's really applicable to our health system in Makassar actually. I think I agree that this of design is quite complicated, and how we can apply it on our health system is actually it's not just only like directly go to the health system. Like what I said before, we need like some terms or some steps we need to pace for. First, maybe like we do it in vitro, like in laboratory, like with the cells only, or maybe after, oh yeah, it's good, we're gonna move it into the in vivo or with the animals first. Oh yeah, it's good, and then we're gonna move it to the small populations. So I think it's not directly we stated as, oh, this is really good therapy, we're gonna apply it to all healthcare system in Indonesia. But I think because it's still improvement, so it need to apply it step by step from the laboratory, animal, and small population like that. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Prof. Nina, for your question. So first, my answer is there's so many cancer in this world, and if I'm not mistaken, for the hepatocellular carcinoma, it's also top five cancer in Indonesia, and it's not just only affected to female, but also it can affect to male also. So that's why I choose hepatocellular carcinoma. And actually, hepatocellular carcinoma, it's like not only affected because of like our metabolism and something, but it sometimes the most factor is about like alcoholic or maybe alcoholic people, and then the daily lifestyle it's not really that healthy that can cause cancer. So I think of the reason why I take this hepatocellular carcinoma instead of the others, because it's still the top five mortality cancer, and from the data that I already get also that uh, people who are suffered hepatocellular carcinoma, it's approximately like 100,000. But at the same time, if we see the data at the same year, the mortality it's like 500,000. So I think it's like the gap it's not really that big between the prevalence and mortality. So I think that's the kind of urgency that I can take from this cancer. All right. Thank you for your question. So I'm gonna answer what is nanoteranostic. Nanoteranostic, it's actually I studied it when I doing my PKM Pekan Karya Mahasiswa last year. It's like nanoteranostic, so it's like a media that have a size like a nano, so it's really small. And then as like the name, it has two functions: therapeutic and diagnostic. Therapeutic, it can bring it from the nanoparticle itself, or it can like from drug delivery system, like what I bring like this. I use two therapies like Sirna GCMP3 and also the Sarofenib. And about the diagnostic, it means like if I'm not mistaken, it not like it's not like diagnostic, are you healthy, are you have like a sickness or maybe like a something, but it's like for monitoring. We know when we inject the nanoparticle inside our body, it gonna do like systemic, like go everywhere, but to make sure it gonna attach to the tumor or attach to the something that we want, like we want to this nanoparticle go to our hepat. So for the first time of this improvement, I want to choose nanotheranostics, because we can see the monitoring where this nanoparticle gonna go, like that. All right, so what is the impact to the society? First, this of research is came up with the problem from the society, and I hope this social a solution can also bring the solution to the society. So why and how this is can impact to the society? First, we see that this problem is happen to the society. Like what I said before, the prevalence and the mortality like related, like looks like a same, like mostly the same. And also how this can impact to the society. We know that there are a lot of patients that suffered about this HCC, and for the prevalence mortality, it's really big, and there is also the problem in the first line therapy, I guess, because so many heterogeneity in this tumor. So I think this really impactful because it can target it really into the tumor wherever the heterogeneity, because I choose the biomarker, the biomarkers is GCP3, which is it's really many on the hepatocellular carcinoma. So I think it's gonna be targeted, and then how its impact, like when people have tumor. Uh, when I see the data, that's the mortality really high. I know it's we cannot wait for the surgery. Even people got the surgery, it's maybe like 70% of them, it's gonna have a relapse and they gonna die again. So I think it's we cannot wait for the surgery again, or maybe like for the many of liver transplantation, because we know we don't have that much. So I think that's really important for us, for making like the precision therapy, for making like that therapy that really effective, that that just not only as the expensive medicine, or maybe like expensive when it sells, but it's actually impactful to the society because of that many backgrounds. And actually when this like cancer, it's sometimes I see the literature, it just only solved with the expensive strategies, like maybe like surgery, or maybe like transplantation, and for unprivileged communities, they not available of it. So I think maybe this is like improvement, and it looks like it's expensive, but with many improvement in the future, and also maybe we can use the like local ingredients. I hope it's gonna be like cheaper and accessible for everyone. Like, for this year, no. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so first of all, what is the differences between Sirna and Mirna? I think so. Oh, microRNA. Oh, microRNA. Oh, microRNA and yes, and cRNA. So actually, for the one that microRNA, I've never read the literature before, but maybe if I can explain a little bit about the differences between Sirna and also Mirna. For the Sirna is it's also like silencing RNA. So the technique is they gonna into the cytoplasma and then meet the risk, if I'm not mistaken, and then it's gonna cut the mRNA. So that's why the proliferation from the little, or from the small of the cell, it's gonna be cut. So the proliferation is gonna be stopped for the Sirna, because it's the technology of the silencing. But for the Mirna, it's actually because I haven't read it before, so maybe I cannot compare it comprehensively like that. Yeah. Because I just read about the Sirna and also many drugs, but for Mirna, maybe I will read it after this. Mm. All right. Thank you, Prof. Thank you, Prof. Thank you, Budwi.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, honorable judges and also respectable other audiences that is presenting here. So I'm Malika Zahra Bahtiar and I'm a student majoring in psychology and I'm currently on my 6th semester. So without any further ado, let's next to the topic. Okay, so have you ever caught yourself opening social media first thing in the morning? Well, this has actually become a habit for all of us in this digital era, right? But what kind of post, what kind of thing you could find in the social media? Next. Next. Okay, so in social media, people actually post a lot of things, such as their new internship. Next, their new internship, their new scholarship, or even their new achievements, and it actually become the place where they flex their achievements and other things that they do outside of their university life to enhance their career in the future. Next, to the next page. Next, 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 and next. Okay, so what does it called actually? It's called as hustle culture, or next, a paradox among modern university students that emphasize fosters motivation on one side, or on this thing, or on this context usually it talk about how they glorifies productivity to become their university life to become a high achiever. Next. Okay, so Savitri et al. Said that, in short, it refers to a mindset that glorifies relentless productivity, constant achievements, and self-worth that is evaluated based on measurable outcomes. And next, and our question is how far hustle culture become the trend in university life. So nowadays, next. Nowadays, highly competitive university settings actually serve as strong contextual triggers for the development on this culture. So in our context in UNHAS, we have this new curriculum, or we call it as MKPK, where people or students is allowed to do outside any activities outside of their study, such as joining organization, competition, internship, and all of the things. And on the other side, they also have to fulfill or finish their study in at least 5 years. But this is how hustle cultures actually become a big thing in our university life. At the end of the day, this culture may help to improve students' performance, but it comes with several risks, such as academic burnout, loss of motivation, emotional fatigue, academic stress, and etc. that is come from the big pressure and burden that is set by the university. Next. And next, in line with this, another research by Rahmawati et al. Found that actually approximately around 52% out of 255 population is on their moderate stress, while 42% out of them is actually have a severe stress, which is actually caused by academic workload and also concerns about their academic results and anything that is actually the roots of hustle culture that is growing in university life. Next. So this indicates that although hustle cultures actually fosters high productivity among students, it also places them at the risk of other psychological challenges that may ultimately hinder that productivity itself. So the real question is hustle culture become the source of our productivity, or is it actually the start of the unproductivity itself? And another question comes out: how could we help the students to actually cope with this type of phenomenon that is currently growing in university? Next. So here's how PsyCap becomes the main thing. Next. PSYCAP or psychological capital is actually a concept in psychology which consists for positive psychological resources that we call as hero. This combines effect a stronger predictor of desirable academic outcomes than any single component alone. It consists of hope, efficacy, resilience, and also optimism. Next. So the newest research found that actually PsyCap is a strong predictor of students' ability to cope with stress, where it found that it explained 58% variances in academic stress coping outcomes. Next. And also, it's actually proven that students who have higher levels of PsyCaps actually have a stronger psychological defense when facing academic demands and also university challenges. And it also links to academic improvement of academic achievements and psychological well-being among students as well. So to overcome the negative impact that we got from hustle culture, here it is hustle culture in academia. A PsyCap strengthening program called Recap the PsyCap in entertaining academic stress among university students. And how would it work if we implement it in our real life? For the first thing is, who is the target of this program? It's for the freshmen who is still figuring out how university life works and what could we do to actually enhance our career, and to university students who actually experience academic stress while in their study. And also, we recommended that we do it in the beginning of the semester as a preparation before they actually start their study and the hustle culture and all of those things started. And our objective is actually to strengthen student PsyCap, reduce academic stress, and also improve adaptive coping mechanism. Next. And here's the program overview. We have around 4 weeks to do this program. For the first week, our objective is actually to help participants improve hope by learning to set realistic academic goals, make simple action steps, and maintain their belief that their academic goals are achievable even when there is challenges. And to achieve this objective, there are several activities that we need to do. The first one is objective description, action plan, and SWOT analysis. While for the second week, our objective is actually to strengthen academic self-efficacy by helping participants understand themselves better through Johari window, practice receiving and giving feedback, and also increasing their academic by career-related decision making. So the activities to do or to achieve this thing consists of career counseling, Johari window, and giving feedbacks. And for the 2 last weeks, we have week 3. The objective is to help participants build academic resiliences by learning to understand their emotion, reflect on challenges, and practice responding positively to difficult academic situations. And to achieve this, there are several activities, which is self-reflection and role play, where they would act out some scenario and learn how to overcome their hard or challenges when they face it in the future. And for the last week, our objective is to help participants develop academic optimism by practicing a positive thinking, building self-affirmation, and appreciating positive experiences in academic life. And to achieve that, we have several activities, which is self-affirmation and gratitude practice to keep the growth mindset and positive mindset about what is going to happen in the future. Okay, to sum it up, effective learning is not only about knowledge acquisition, but also about awareness and presence in the learning process. So it is important for us to pay attention to our students and not only make the hustle culture become more wild, but also become more mindful. That's it for me. Thank you. And if there are any questions, you can ask. Okay, thank you very much for the first question. Maybe it's about how confident I am that people would join this program. Is it? Okay, so as I said before, that the program is actually for the freshmen who is still figuring out how university life works, and also for the university students who is currently on academic stress. So for the freshmen itself, I'm pretty sure that most of them need some hints or even an overview about how university life is gonna be, and also with the new curriculum that we had in Unhas, many freshmen, a lot of freshmen would think that it is quite an opportunity to access more information about how to cope with their university life in the future as well. And for the university students who is actually on academic stress itself, it could actually become a place where they have a personal space to actually sort their minds out before actually coming back to the hustle culture in their university life. And for the second question, can I hear? Okay, so although it's 4 weeks, it sounds quite long for actually a training program, or even it could sounds a little bit not convincing enough, but I'm pretty sure that through the time they learn together by a more active participation on the training program, people actually could get more inside things, and also they could have a more ability to actually cope in the future when they actually face the challenges in their study. Except for freshmen, but also it is applicable for any university life who is currently suffering from the academic stress. Okay, so actually it is pretty simple because we don't actually want to force people to join our program. So it is more like if they want to come, and then they could come, and we will actually try to persuade them if they really need help and they're maybe a little bit not confident to actually join the program because they could be frightened by the risk and other things that is going to happen in the program. But I'm to help people actually to come into this training program, we need to convince them by giving them our objectives and our motivation to actually build this type of training, so that they actually can get their interest higher and actually willingly to come to our training program. Yes. It's actually 4 weeks, but there is a space, so once a week, and it's just a day in a week. So we think that we need to give them time to actually sort things out after every session, so they actually can get a lot more insights from it. Okay. Okay, so it's actually consists of education as well, and also based on a counseling about their career future, so that they can actually choose the type of activity that they are gonna do, which is aligned with their future career in the future. So as I stated before, we start from the first week where they actually sort things out by writing their objective description, and also about what is their SWOT analysis about their career and etc. And on the second week, they're gonna get some career counseling as well, and also a Johari window to actually get to know themselves better. And on the third week, they're gonna get some role play and also self-reflection about what they've become in so far, and also about how to overcome challenges in case they face the same challenges in the future, or another adaptive coping mechanism. And the last week we are gonna make sure that they actually have a growth mindset and a positive mindset enough to actually overcome the challenges in the future. Thank you.
Paling kiri.
Good morning, honorable judges. I'm here to present the PNC Breed an innovation in early detection and cancer profiling innovation for pancreatic malignancy via HAI-based smart breast analyzer. As you know, pancreatic cancer, next, next. As you know, pancreatic cancer is also known as the silent killer. Next. And as wait. The statistics are devastating. As you can see, pancreatic cancer has a 98% fatality rate, with 80% of the cases are detected far too late. With a merely 40% survival rate, why is this happening? Next. Our current conventional diagnosis approach is with automated immunoassay analyze detect CA99 biomarker. But this conventional diagnosis approach comes with a limitation. Next. It's often expensive, invasive, and has a delayed result, and also the most critical limitation that it has a low sensitivity. Es- Especially for for 5 to 10% individual that has a lowest negative phenotype, that their body can't produce any CA19 biomarker. That means their their pancreatic their pancreatic the pancreatic cancer can't detect it at all with our currently conventional diagnosis tool. Next. Then what is our solution? Next. By providing a non-invasive and high accuracy with solution that enable us to find an early stages pancreatic cancer detection using AI-driven brain analysis. Next. That's why we introduced PILMAPRES. Next. PILMAPRES is an early detection and cancer profiling innovative for pancreatic malignancy via HAI-based smart brain analyzer. It is a non-invasive device that analyzes volatile organic compound from exhaled breath. The core innovation lies in its nine-channel gas sensory array. Each sensor is turned into specific metabolic marker, such as aldehyde for early stages, ketone for malignancy, alkane for aggressiveness, sulfur for metastasis, sulfur alcohol for dysfunction, and terpene for cell proliferation. These ratios are processed locally uses HAI. That means our data will be processed locally offline without any offline and provide instant result. That means our device is highly portable and also reachable even for our patient that was in 40 area. On display, the clinician will receive a comprehensive profile, a risk score, a staging estimate, and also potential subtype. This device will also provide referral recommendations such as immediate CT scan or also an oncology consultation that will streamline the patient journey. Finally, next, we'll look at the economic feasibility. The total estimated compound price for one unit is approximately $5 million. This includes high precision MMS sensor and medical grade 3D printed enclosure and also AI capable processing units. By providing an affordable, rapid, and non-invasive screening method, PILMAPRES aim to lower mortality rate and support the precision medicine approach in oncology. Thank you for your attention, honorable judges. Yes. Uh, yeah, the limitation that for our device here is that it can get altered. The result is can get altered in every use. When different people use it, the result will kinda altered. That's why we have a moisture trap, so the sensor won't be altered. So it will remain clean for every person use. And also the limitation is the current research doesn't have the the score for our pank breed analysis. That's why there's needed more research to make the table for our AI, so our AI can continue to give the exact result that we want. So maybe just that. Thank you. Yes. Yes. Great. Uh, uh, so we got so our device is based on the research that we just review, and there's a higher uh, there's a high connection between VOC, volatile organic compound, with the pancreatic cancer. And also, as we know, the cancer cells is often alter the pathway of our body. That's why, as some kind of the pancreatic cancer, as we know, pancreas makes a lot of things, and when it's altered, it sometimes sometimes altered the cell function that makes it release some volatile that can be detected with our device. What we detect is not only just one or two volatile. We detect many volatile with that six type: aldehyde, ketone, alkane, sulfur, alcohol, and terpene. And it's also not only just like one type of aldehyde, there is a list of almost 136 volatile that we will scan to know what is it a pancreatic cancer, or is only pancreatitis, or if it was pancreatic cancer, what stage is worse? Because we also can detect the volatile of the stage of this cancer. Like when it was an early cancer, it will often mostly exhale the aldehyde volatile organic compound. But when it was in the higher stages, it will mostly exhale the alkane volatile organic compound. Yes. Oh, yeah. Uh, that's also one of our limitation, uh, but with the research that we got, the the volatile that was the we don't only take the volatile that was counted. We also see what is the comparison perbandingan perbandingan for every volatile, and also from the perbandingan we can see if this is a pancreatic or lung cancer, because often we detected the same kind of volatile organic compound with the lung cancer, but the perbandingan is different. This is an early screening. That's why our device will have a risk score, and also we'll have a staging estimate. Then, even though it might give a result of higher stage of cancer, but it also will refer a recommendation like a CT scan or a meet with an oncology consultant for better treatment. And also it's also to see if the results are right or no. Thank you. Um, from what I researched, like they don't have the research for every kind of volatile. That's why we take more massive type of volatile. So we also can see not only if this patient has pancreatic cancer, but also what it may stage it be, and also is also um, to see we can also see the potential subtype of this pancreatic cancer. Yes, yes, and also we also use an HAI, so. So it's not different. It's not the same with the AI we know right now. That's need internet connection. So this device will be portable and will be accessible even if there is no Wi-Fi, and the AI will still can produce the result. So we can bring this device anywhere, and it can detect the pancreatic cancer. Yeah. Yes. 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 So, as we know, the research is limited, but we hope this device uh, is for the future. So we need more research about the ratio the ratio of the volatile volatile organic compound. Uh, from what we see, from what we see, the some specific volatile organic compound is tends to mean that the person has higher stages of pancreatic cancer. When when one kind of volatile organic compound is also mostly related to early stages pancreatic cancer. That's why even though there hasn't been any research that give us the right ratio for this device, but we surely believe that in the future we will have the right research, or maybe we can do our research to give our AI the ability to provide ability to see to detect the pancreatic the pancreatic cancer with more detail. Next one.
Baik, bro. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. The first 1,000 days of of life define the future of a nation. For millions of children, for millions of children, for millions of children, this golden period should be full of growth. But silently, their future is being stolen by an invisible threat. That is hidden hunger, a threat that ultimately leads to stunting or irreversible stunting. Stunting is not just about being short. Stunting is a global systemic crisis that directly threats our program towards third SDGs. And did you even know that in Indonesia, our national stunting prevalence remains so high, it's almost on to 20%, and at the cellular level, this crisis is driven by zinc and iron deficiency. Without these two elements, the brain's neural and architecture fails to form and bone growth, plates are permanently locked. So why do we even fail to detect it early on? Well, the answer lies in the fatal flaws of our prevention and diagnostic tools. For decades, we rely in passive anthropometry. Meanwhile, study found that by the time a baby is diagnosed stunting with z-score less than -2 SD, they have already suffered months and months of irreversible cellular damage. Right now, current media standards like AAS and ELISA are trapped in ivory tower laboratories, something that is not economically friendly. Even worse, drawing blood triggers needle phobia in 60% of preschools, and this trauma leads to parental refusal, completely crippling our early detection programs. Therefore, we need a new innovation to achieve 3 goals. First one is the 100% non-invasive and cold chain free, and also frugal and lab grade accuracy. Driven by a burning passion to save Indonesia's golden generation, I am Haris Al-Wabnur Ilham, proudly present Sunstrip Ecosystem, a two-tiered step care architecture for frugal micronutrient screening and definitive stunting diagnosis. This innovation was born by comprehensive literature synthesis, and then let's break down the innovation. Unlike a single device, Sunstrip is innovated with step care ecosystem. That this system divides the economic burden into 2 tiers. First one is a smart paper costing less than approximately 2,000 rupiahs for mass screening in rural villages, and also an advanced saliva sensors for definitive diagnosis at primary health centers. And then if we break down the system, our system operates in 3 main phases: sampling, detection, and also calibration. The first phase, the sampling phase, where we passively absorb pure salivary plasma without causing any tears by using PVA medical grade microsponge. And also in using this innovation, we know that the saliva might be overflow. That's why, how do we control the fluid flow? We use a sucrose time valve that printed by using a 32 micron thick layer of sugar that mathematically takes 45 seconds to dissolve, and separating target ions from proteins. By that, the first goal is achieved, and then the next phase, where we have a smart plastic called MIPS that bound by strong covalent bonds and will be immune to extreme heat up to 150 degrees Celsius. And inside the plastic, the MIPS, we embed gold nanostars that if the zinc and iron enter the plastic cavity will be physically shrinks, and then the shrinkage forces the gold nanostars to collide, triggering a quantum physics called LSPR, and then by that an explosive color change with extraordinary sensitivity reaching the nanomolar level. By that, the second goal is achieved, and then the third phase, where we're using smartphone cameras that sometimes it will be biased by the sunlight room or even the room lighting, but instead of using physical hood, our app uses an AI algorithm called MSRCR, where this algorithm will be filters out the light pollution and also extract the object's pure and true colors. And by that, also in the same phase, we also using XGBoost regression model will translate the color into highly precise concentration numbers that will be used to diagnose. And then furthermore, this data will be automatically encrypted with GPS coordinates and sent directly to the Ministry of Health Satu Sehat server, and by that it will make a real-time national stunting epidemiological radar. And by that, the third goal is also achieved. For the conclusion, validity of this ecosystem promises a massive good, and in terms of health economics, shifting from traditional tools onto the smart paper that will save trillions of rupiah in our state budget. And finally, it also will be contributed in the third SDGs and also fourth Asacita for Indonesia Emas 2045. And for the conclusion, by using this innovation, we hope that no Indonesian child will ever have to survive from fear, pain, or even hidden hunger again. For stun strip, no needles, no cold chain, and no more hidden hunger. Billahi fisabilil haq. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Uh, it's a paper strip that will be used in a so yes. Yes, just yes. It will be layers. First of all, absolutely, I will do some promotion first. That now we are living in a digital era, so we can use media social to promote this innovation, and also for the real applied, we will we will tell detailed to the parents about how the big picture of of this this innovation works, and how it has no any negative impact to the babies or even the parents. And also I will also highlight that this is economical friendly, and I hope by using collaboration, this will be distributed by the government uh, freely. By doing my literature, yes, there will be no side effect. I for this innovation approximately before 2 year, Prof. So the target will be coverage in around 1,000 uh, first first 1,000 days of life. Yeah. Uh, oh, so the saliva, this device detect iron and zinc in the saliva. So by that, because this is screening devices, so by that the patient will be tell about the diagnosis, and then we hope that the parents will take the patient into the primary health center. And also by using this device, the data that there is a patient screen as a stunting patient will also uh, be gathered in the satu sehat server. Thank you for the question. For that, Uh, from what I've read before, yes, there it will be affected by the mother, but approximately around only around 27% will be known by testing the mother. So even if the mother and the baby in the belly is healthy, but when the baby is born, there will be a lot of other factors that can make the baby itself uh, have stunting. Micronutrients. Thank you for the question, Prof. The main target of this innovation is actually the baby. So even if for the babies. Thank you for your. Uh, I'll take acquaintance of that, Prof. Thank you, Prof.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Every breath carries information, but the question is whether we choose to listen. So in this afternoon, I will take you through health challenges that progress quietly and how can we detect it earlier with just simply a breath. Next. So, as a background, why do we need an early detection? So, why early detection is matter? So, there are several reasons for this one. So, first one is because it has a silent progression. So, in this case, I'm going to talk about the metabolic and respiratory disease. As we know, in globally, that metabolic and respiratory disease is increase every year as a globally, and it's often developed before the symptoms itself appears. So if we don't detect it earlier, then it will cause us more cost and also complexity to taking care of the patients. And also this all happen because we detect late. And the next reason is because the current diagnostic that we have today are episodic and also reactive, such as the invasive blood test and clinical spirometry, where some of the tests it requires healthcare professionals. So when it's happened and the patients doesn't have the opportunity to going to the healthcare, so it will delay the monitoring and it will cause more bad to the patients. And the next one is scientifically, we know that the human breath contains volatiles and biomarkers, and these volatiles and biomarkers can reflect real-time metabolic and also inflammatory states. So this fact is ideal for us to make a innovations that is non-invasive and can be used for a frequent screening. But at the end, the question is, how can we utilize this biological information to detect something earlier? Next. So before I answer the questions about this and continue my presentation, so let me introduce myself. My name is Zahra Aurelia Sadantrasak, and I'm standing here as Hasanuddin University Outstanding Students Candidate for 2026. And here I present my innovations called Breath IQ, AI integrated breath biomarker system for early detections of metabolic and respiratory diseases. Next. Okay, so the main questions for these innovations is how can we use the breath biomarkers integrated with the artificial intelligence that can help in these innovations be developed into a non-invasive, scalable, and a scalable system for early detections and personalized monitoring of the metabolic and respiratory disease. Next. So this is the innovations that I presenting right now. So it's called Breath IQ. So to know what this Breath IQ aims to do, so there are three main components of these devices. So this Breath IQ is a portable device, with a phone size device that is first is multi-biomarker detection, where in this device we can detect three biomarkers that contains on the human breath. The first one is acetone, second was is carbon dioxide, and also the third one is the fractional exhaled nitric oxide. And the second main main components of these devices is it use AI-based interpretations, where the AI will use the history of the patients of or the user of this device, and and the AI will analyze it into a longitudinal trend and give a personalized risk classification. So it's not only like single point alarms, but it will be in several points, not only one biomarkers. And the next component is mobile health platforms, because we're using AI, and these complex data or complex things that in the device, it will translate into a actionable recommendation and lifestyle guidance. So it will be easier it will help the user to actually understand what we need to do next, and what happen if they in a certain point of condition. And this system targets individuals at risk of diabetes, metabolic syndrome, asthma, COPD patients, urban populations exposed to populations, and can be used in a preventive screening programs. Next. So this is the preview of the device. So it's actually just a font size device, and it has mouthpiece, the blue thing on the top, and inside of the LCD it has 3 sensors based on what needed in this device. Next. So how it's work for the user? So the user will connect. The first step is the user will connect their device, their phone, with the devices, with the Breathe IQ, with their Bluetooth, and it will be automatically calibrate in the background and the applications in their phone. And next step is the patient's going to exhale on the mouthpiece for a few seconds, and then the multi-sensor will measure the breath in real times, and giving and capture them with a timestamp. And then the AI will work. Will work with algorithm compare the measurement that the patient have right now, and the patient have sebelum atau the history of the patient's score. And then the device will give actionable classifications. The result will show in a green, yellow, or red button, red color, and it will have a specific classification on what the patient should do or should have. Next. So next is to implement this device. There are going to be 4 stages. The first stage is system development. In the system development, the technicians, the clinical clinicians, and all the data scientists will work together and integrate all the sensors, all the data pipelines, and AI models together. And then after that, they're going to the next stage is prototype testing, where they start to control the validations against the clinical indicators. And next stage is pilot deployment a pilot deployment where they start to implement the device into a community, but in this case, they start with a small scale community. And the next stage is scale up, where the device is already being used with a lot of community and satisfied like a lot of people. We can start to partnering with some institution. It can be in health institutions or AI institutions, and we can start to expand biomarkers. So it's not only limited to only 3 biomarkers. Next. And all the innovations, all the innovations comes with limitations, and I fully understand that this device can have a limitations, and these are the probably challenges that we can face when we try to implement this device. The first one is sensor performance. The sensor might like the sensor might like detect the breath wrongly, and then the interpretations they might give wrong interpretations, and data privacy, the data privacy of the patients, and also user adaptations, because at the end of the user implementation, it will give like interpretation, so it will give user adaptation barrier, because some patients might not feel satisfied, because they always got the interpretation of what their condition, so it might give a stress. So in conclusions, that the brain IQ is translate breath into a meaningful. So it's actionable insight by combining validated sensors, longitudinal AI, and a patient-centric mobile platform. So it's not only one thing to be detected, and also there need to be emphasized that this is not going to change the diagnostic test that we already have, but these tools is going to be monitoring tools. So yeah, next. That's all for my presentations. Thank you so much for the attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Cost. Okay, so this device contains like three biomarker sensors, the acetons, carbon dioxide, and also phenol, which this for respiratory disease, it's not all respiratory disease, because we know that there's a lot of respiratory disease like a TBC and so on. But in this case, we only can detect a disease that can give like effects to the breath. It's not like the TBC that have effect to the breath, but because this device only have 3 sensors, which is the phenol, so phenol and also the carbon dioxide. So it can only at this time it can only detect the asthma and COPD. And for the second question, the approximately price for this device, because this is a very long way implementation. So I would say it will be around 350,000 rupiah. 350,000 rupiah. 300 350.000. 350. Yeah, 350,000 rupiah. 350. Yeah, 350 rupiah. Be, Okay, so the reason why it's not that expensive is because the sensors is already like available in some a lot of places. Because I've done the research that the acetone sensors and the CO carbon dioxide sensors and the phenol sensors is already like a produce a lot in a lot of public. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Specific. Okay, so to answer the question, surely there will higher chance in the future that we can expand the biomarkers, but in this very early stages of implementation, maybe we can start from like a simple sensors at the beginning, so it will not have like a very complex um, AI complex AI analysis. So it will be in a step by step. So it will. It's so possible to have more biomarkers so that we can detect more specific disease, not only not like a very broad asthma or diabetics. The patient, the patient. So it's okay. Yeah. Uh, okay. So this device will be used to the patients, and it is not going to be in a like not used as a diagnostic tools, but it will use as a monitoring tools. So the patients when they sudah keluar dari rumah sakit, they will buy the device, and then it will help them to like monitor their conditions. So it's not going to replace any of the diagnostic tests that we already have, but it will help to be a monitoring tools. Thank you. Metabolomics area. develop. Their own codes. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for the suggestions, Prof. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.